Welcome back to Coffee Time News. I am your host, Justin. Make sure that you join us every Monday where I give you all the updated news that's going on in the world right now, and every Thursday with myself and captions for our main Coffee Time podcast where we just pretty much entertain you and talk about whatever. It's usually our questions of the day, but every now and then you'll get a little bit something different. But let's go ahead and jump into it. By now, a lot of people have been seeing the viral video of voter fraud that has been circulating the internet. Of course, mainstream media has been flagging it because it goes against their own narratives of what they believe is true. Even below this video, I'm pretty sure it's going to have that little display that says that the AP has called the electoral race for Joe Biden. See below. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen right below this. It's been going on with a lot of my news segments going on lately. But anyway, let's talk about it. So the video shows these election workers, of course, during the normal day of the election, they were counting the ballots. But then around 10:30-ish in the afternoon, they had said, hey, we're going to go ahead and stop counting for today. We're going to have everyone go home and we'll continue the following day. So in this video, you could see these election workers leaving. All the people that were looking at the votes being counted were escorted out, as well as the news, the different types of media platforms, they were being escorted out. So once the area is cleared, there's a couple of election workers that are still shown in this video. And they go to this table and pull out what seems to be a suitcase, and multiple suitcases actually, that has ballots in them. Now, during this time, they go through the ballots and scan them in to, get them counted for whatever reason. And it's just like a huge red flag because, whether or not you believe there's actual voter fraud, or depending on what side of the camp you're on, whether you're on Joe Biden or Trump, you have to look at this stuff and see what they're doing isn't right. And if this doesn't show how this stuff is actually happening and it's still being censored, you should really think about the things that you believe in. It's clearly evident that they are doing something that they're not even supposed to be doing, especially in the county that was. It's against all their regulations that have to do with the election. So, of course, this video has surfaced. It's been flagged. It's been saying, hey, there's still no evidence of voter fraud. But it's weird how the media is saying, oh, well, there hasn't been any evidence presented to us. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? And we're trying to show them the evidence, but then they flag it. How is that a thing? People are worried about this election. And this is the first time I've ever voted. The first time ever. I'd never voted before because I always thought, my vote doesn't count, this and that. But it's never been that apparent to me until right now, where I'm looking at all these people signing affidavits, swearing under oath, saying, hey, we see this shit going on. And there's even another video of a woman that worked for Dominion. She was an IT person for Dominion, the voting system that does all the ballots. And she was telling her testimony of the stuff that she saw. And the people that she was presenting to, of course, were questioning her credibility and everything like that. And she just simply said, look, I signed a piece of paper that says that if I'm wrong about this, I go to jail. So what do I really have to gain from this? And she went on continuing because they asked her, well, why aren't there more people stepping up? Well, she's been treated like a freaking martyr. She's been having threats against her. Her life has pretty much been ruined because she spoke out against something that she saw. And regardless whether these things are true or not, we have to listen. It's sad because I see people on my friends list that are posting about the election. They're like, oh my God, just lose already, stop the count, do this, do that. I'm just looking at them why aren't y'all so concerned about this stuff? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, let's say this wasn't Biden that did all this shit. What if it was Trump? There would be no rest until, these cases we're seeing and everything like that. Because they're like, oh, well, we're seeing this fraud. We're seeing these inaccuracies. How is this possible? This and that. Yet because it's someone that they want to win, they're, just silent. It's wrong because it's not only this election that's, in the mix, it's future elections too. Because if they're doing this now, what's stopping them from doing it in the future? And I really hope that these cases do get heard. I hope that there is fair judgment going on right now, because we're not going to find anything out until December 14th. And we're still days away. Like right now that I'm recording, it's December 6th. This comes out December 7th on Monday. And I'm still not sure what's going on in the world. And I don't know who to really trust when it comes to the media. Because CNN, Fox, MSNBC, ABC, all these different media platforms are saying the same thing, that, oh, there's no way this could exist. And it's just so strange, because it's sad that people have to go to networks or to segments like mine to hear a different type of view. To hear, hey, these things are actually happening. And they're like, oh, well, they've lost all these cases. There's only been 3 cases that have been presented. So, and Rudy Giuliani, the lawyer for Trump, had spoke out against one of the prosecutors. I was like, well, y'all had 49 cases. They've all come back. He's like, no. And that's where we have the huge disconnect, where we hear people like you saying this stuff when we've only brought in 3 cases to you. And they don't have the patience or even the intelligence to look at these sworn affidavits from people, because they just don't want to hear it. They want to silence these voices. And that's why I really urge the people that do listen to this segment, that listen to our podcast, to have this difference of opinion, because it took me a long time to really go against the main narrative that was going on. I just kind of followed the flow, especially when I was in college. I was a Democrat. I wanted to vote for Sanders. I wanted all the free shit, silence voices, whatever. But it took me stepping back and learning things on my own and really opening up my eyes to everything that was going on, to question everything, that I started becoming a Republican. And I didn't like Trump whenever he first came in. I was like, oh my God, why would they hire such an idiot? He's going to destroy the, U.S., all this stuff. I had every negative thing that a lot of people do have about him. But then I started learning. I started really learning whenever I came back here to Texas and I became a gun owner. As, sad as that seems, it's only whenever I became a gun owner, because I had to learn about the laws. I had to learn about people defending themselves, all the stuff. And it led me down this rabbit hole of learning things that I thought were true and they were not true. And then I looked at what good things Trump has done for people. And then what good things Republicans have done for people. And then I started looking at the Democratic people. And I was like, you know what? Let me give them the fair treatment. So I looked at Joe Biden. I looked at his platform. And I realized I am against almost everything that he proposes. And it's so strange, because if I ask a Biden supporter, hey, why are you voting for Biden? I only hear, oh, well, because Trump did, they can't keep Trump out of their vocabulary. If someone asked me why I'm a Trump supporter, I could talk about his policies. I don't have to say, oh, well, Biden did this, Biden did that, Obama did this, Obama did that. I don't have to do that. I could just talk about his impact on what has been happening in the U.S. and all over the world, the peace treaties he's done, the trades he's done, the deals he's done. I could talk about all that stuff. But when I ask someone on the left, why do you support this candidate? All they could think is Trump did this, or Trump's a racist because of this, because of that. Well, what about his policies? What do you like about his policies? What do you like about him wanting to de-arm American citizens, or bringing in illegal citizens to reap all of our benefits and not paying anything back? Why do you believe in that stuff? But, that's just my thoughts on that. I kind of want to bring you more about the news stuff, but then, of course, I got a little bit into my own personal thing, which is okay to talk about. I want to be on a more personal level as well with the audience that does listen to this. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have tuned out within the couple of seconds I started talking, or whenever y'all saw my Trump gear. And that's fine. This is for the people that listen to this all the way through, to the people that are wanting to hear a difference of opinion, or wanting to know that they're not alone in their opinions. Now, I got on the platform TikTok. I was never a huge thing into it. And I started looking at posts by Trump supporters and like how they were talking about like, we should follow each other. We're a family. We need to support each other. I'm not saying every Trump supporter is like me. There are some on both sides, not just the left or on the right, but on both sides that can take it to the extreme measure. That can, be on the huge opposite end of the spectrum that I am on. But I was looking at these people and like how like they're caring for each other, how they're supporting each other. And I was starting to post stuff about me being a Trump supporter. And I had this huge following. Not much, but a huge following in my opinion. To where people were looking at my videos, they were supporting what I was doing. And I'm like, man, like, it's so weird because I'm getting nothing but love from these people. And I know for a fact, like, if I have a friend that's a Biden supporter and, like, they were to, be with me or whatever, they'd get that same support. But on the opposite end, people that have been on the left have been saying that I'm a racist, I'm a homophobe, I'm a xenophobe, I'm privileged, all this other shit that, I've heard people call me just by wearing this stuff. And it doesn't make sense to me. But I just want to end it on this point. We're not going to find out anything until December 14th. And I feel like Trump should not concede. And it's not over until it's over. That's the thing that I've really learned this time around when it comes to this election. And if it does turn out that Joe Biden is my president, then he's my president. I'm going to have to support his decisions. I'm not going to like a lot of them because one of the first things he wants to do is in his first 100 days of office is make a mask mandatory, which they do nothing. I'm sorry. I can say that for certain now. Like, they don't do anything because one of my family members had gotten COVID. They, social distance. They wore the mask. They did everything possible, and they still got it. So you can still get COVID even though you wear a mask. It doesn't do anything. And it goes to like, oh, well, we need a vaccine. Well, what is a vaccine? It's you being exposed to a virus. So why not just expose yourself to the virus? Take off your mask. Don't social distance. Expose yourself. I'm not worried about getting COVID. If I have it, then I have it. Just like if I have the flu, I have the flu. And I know there's people that have their lives lost to COVID. And I'm not trying, to desensitize it or say they didn't matter. But all I'm saying is like there's always going to be something. So stop stopping your life. You need to live your life. You need to stop living in fear and letting the government control your actions. Because once you start doing that, then what freedom do you really have? I could support this president, but at the same time, I don't want the government controlling everything I do. It's none of their business of what I do. But I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this below. That's going to be it for this one. Make sure that you follow me every Monday. I'm going to try giving y'all as much information as I possibly can about the elections and other things too going on in the world right now. Make sure you follow us on Thursdays, our Thirsty Thursday podcast, where we do our questions of the day. Make sure you listen to all of our platforms. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We really want y'all's support. We really want to expand our audience so we can get other people to have a difference of opinion, have these conversations that me and Captions have. Because me and him are opposites when it comes to these things too. He has a certain way of thinking and I have a different one, but we're able to come together and talk about it in a really clear and concise way. But until next time, this has been Coffee Time News, and I'll see y'all in the next segment.